Good afternoon on Monday the 20th of July, and this is a wee flosstube extra. Hello and welcome if you've just stumbled across me and my squeaky chair. She is just part of the furniture, quite literally, but she's been with me for a while. So anyway, I am Sharon _Stitchedoodle, and this is my channel all about cross stitch. Or is it? Because my name is Stitchedoodle and I normally talk all about my stitching. But today I am going to show you all of my doodles. Well, a huge chunk of my doodles. I'm sure the rest of them are up in the loft up there somewhere. Who knows, there's definitely more, although there seems to be a lot more here than I first anticipated. But I thought I'd just do a little gallery of my pen, pencil, paint artwork. Like real, actual artwork, not computer generated, no AI, just pen and paper or pencil. So what we shall do is I'm going to flip over to the overhead camera, get her plugged in, and then we can do a little showcase. See what you think. Back in a mo. So here I am, all set up and ready to show. Now I won't hang around too long on each image. I will hold them for a few seconds, but if you want to see them in more detail, you can always slow down the video so you can see them, but I've got quite a lot to get through. And I don't want to bore you to death with my black and white drawings. So they're in no particular date order, they are in size order. It just made more tidy sense to do it that way. So, first one's in, just a random doodle. Not sure what it was supposed to be, it was just a random doodle. And no date on that one. Now this one, this was clearly for 2020. This was when we were all rainbows and save the NHS and just trying to stay sane and happy and healthy. I think a lot of my doodles come from around about that period. This was lots of different shapes, and you'll notice there's a theme in quite a few where I've drawn eyes. Now there's a lovely lady, lovely business called Santangle, and she has kind of redeveloped the whole Zen doodle. I don't know what you would call it, but she creates templates just to give you very basic outlines, and how you build those templates are up to you. She just guides you through, and she really reignited a lot of people's interest in art and drawing, or people who'd never done it before were suddenly able to draw and express themselves just by having that little helping hand. So a few of mine do use the templates, most of them don't, but it was just a great idea to kind of get you started again. But I'll leave links below for Santangle because she's fantastic. She's got some great YouTube videos. This one, I think this one was definitely using the templates. I'd never be able to draw. Can you imagine trying to draw that freehand? Nope. No dates. Moons, that is another theme. Moons and eyeballs I seem to draw quite a bit of. So that's a Christmas moon because we have holly. I think these ones, the pine cone, we've got a poinsettia, we've got the moon, we've got a reindeer, and we also have another moon. And I think I was going to be hand drawing all my Christmas cards that year. And I did, and I decided to keep them all for myself. So there we go. So they were all on the same size of paper, so I think that's what the general idea was. In fact, here's a thing. If you want to leave me a comment about anything you've seen here today, just type the word art and then whatever your comment is, and I will send a piece of art. I don't know which piece, but I will send a piece of artwork to one lucky viewer or unlucky viewer. Depends how you look at my art. But don't put words like giveaway or prize or anything like that in the comments, because we don't want to attract the wrong kind. I want this to go to someone that does actually appreciate art. So If I remember, I'll mention it again at the end of the video. So this was just a little random doodle with white pen on black. I think I tried about 20 different white pens because it's not easy to draw on black card. And these pens have worked out the best. I think they're from Amazon. If I can find the link to them, I think I bought them quite a few years ago. And if I can find the link to them, I will post it down below because they were not expensive pens. I think you got 6 for about £10 or something like that. And as you can see, they draw fantastically. And these were probably, there we go, there's another one. So this was 2022, so 4 years ago, I drew this in white pen and look how vibrant it still is. So yeah, if I can find the link below to that, I will draw that because it is quite striking, gives a whole new dimension to your drawings. So that's that. And we have a little trainer. What a funky shoe that is. I'd love to have shoes that funky. Just glow in the dark. It would be great. And these, I think these are based on perfume bottles that I have. Bear with, see if I can find it. Let's pause for a second. So there we go. This was the inspiration for this drawing. A little fancy perfume bottle. Amazing where you find inspiration. Then we've got a dream catcher. This was clearly using template. There's no way I'd be able to freehand that. And oh, this was a bit of a wild one. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of my dreams. This is what my dreams are like every night. You know, not a nice soothing. I don't dream that I'm lying on a beach in the Bahamas somewhere. No, I am Indiana Jones saving the world every night in my dreams. And I wake up exhausted. And here's another one. Not sure which way up this one goes. And lovely flower one. Again, this one could go any way up. And I love this little effect, so it looked like little laces were coming out, holding it all together. Have a sleepy eye, a rose, oh, a teary eye. Oh, this one, I love this one. I've since turned this one into a cross-stitch chart. So this was a kind of little owl, eagle, not quite sure what kind of bird he is, but yeah, absolutely love this one. My little gnome, little festive gnome. But I love filling in with all these random patterns. Now this one, this is just a colour drawing. This, I'd rented a cottage with my family up near Findhorn, which is way up in Scotland, near where Pamela from Ditsy Daisy Crafts is. She's from up that way. And out the back we had cows and bumblebees. So I just relaxed one day and did a little sketch, and that was that one. Now we're on to larger pages. This is another one of my favourites. We've got the roses. Now they must have been a template because they are far too alike to just be random. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And the bumblebees also feature, not content with just drawn on pen and paper, we got a box. That was just using a plain black fine liner pen. We have a lovely shop here in the UK called The Works, which is like an arts and crafts store, bookstore, does all sort of kids' games, and they sell a lot of these kind of wooden frames, boxes, very inexpensive. So I went down and I bought a few things to draw on. And this box is full of batteries and Allen keys. I save them up. Every time I build a piece of furniture, I save the Allen key, because you never know when you're going to need it again. Oh, and you've got a little fire starter. Allen keys of every description. Random. This is just my random box of random things. But yeah, covered it in bees. I think the shape kind of dictated what was going to go on it. Right, so back to the paper. So a little masquerade mask. You ready for some colour? Colour explosion. There we go. A jigsaw. A broken jigsaw. Did we date it? Oh, we did date it. Where are we? May 2021. So yeah, they were all kind of from 2020 onwards. I may find some more earlier ones. This is a beautiful peacock. This one was done using templates for all these little bits and pieces. But when you see the templates, they are very basic. Don't think I'm just copying and colouring. The templates are very basic. What you make with them is what you make with them. There's the letter S with some flowers. That was 2022. Now this one, I don't know if you used to do this in school, but our teacher would just say, just draw a scribble, just draw a giant big squiggle, see what you can turn it into. Well, I tried that and just turned it into a lovely big piece of ribbon, just to practice all the kind of shading and give it a bit of depth, what goes under, what goes over. So there's that. And we have, there's a lot more art than I ever thought. Reach for the stars. Move these out the way a bit. I'm very conscious of not hitting the keyboard and stopping the recording. There's another kind of florally dream catcher one. I have gifted quite a lot of artwork. And here is a feather, done in black on white this time. And here we go. My home country, loud and proud. We have the thistle, bonnie Scotland, we have little Highland coo, we have Nessie, and then there's the rain, because it does rain quite a bit. Then we have some tartan, of course, the St Andrew's flag. So yeah, that was my little Scottish study. And another dream catcher. Now this was made with a compass. Again, in art class in primary school, we would draw with compasses, and I was just obsessed with going round and round and round and round and making these flowers. Still am. Absolutely love drawing with compass. And here we have another peacock, different style peacock this time. Let's compare her to the previous peacock if we can find her. I've gone through that many. So there we go. Two different styles of peacock. And another little fairy in the moon. Dream big. Another dream catcher. A dream is a wish your heart makes. And then we have just a little, oh, we have random doodles on the back of this one. And then this one on the front. And this was definitely made using a template. That is way too perfect. Now this was 2020. Kind of getting a bit fed up trying to figure out what to draw. So I drew my eyeball. I thought, what do I see? Draw what you see. I didn't see anything, so I just drew what I used to see. So that is the eyeball. And then we have another dream catcher. Now this one inspired a whole range of cross-stitch charts. I think I have dream, wish and believe, all in this kind of arrow effect. And then, oh, this one is going back. This is an old one. This was August 1989. I was pregnant with my first baby, and Adidas squash were just, no, it weren't Adidas squash, it was high-tech squash, was it? There's an H. They were my favourite trainers. I wore them till I could wear them no more. Yep, so that was that one. Now we're starting to get really posh because we're going into watercolours. 2020. This is my little Scottish watercolour. Trying a bit of it. I see lots of people do this kind of splattery technique. Not quite sure I captured it, but I do love it. And then there was, this is going back 2016, so we are going back 10 years. And this is from the Duck Pond, which is about half a mile away from here. We have swans, and there's cygnets every year, and there must be about 20 different sets of ducks. He looks like, or she looks like, I'm not sure which is which, given complete side eye. They're having a rant, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, I'm off. So that's my little ducks. This is Scott, and he was younger, and he just loved this horse. And I'm sure the horse's name was Poppy, so I put poppies in, just to give it a bit of colour. But he just adored that horse. Not our horse, it was just one, wherever we were, we saw a horse. And this is Hamish. Now Hamish lives in Callander, and you can go and feed Hamish if you're in that area. This is the lovely Hamish. I love Highland cows. This was 2020 again, and in my old house we had a lot of greenery around us, and quite often you would see the foxes. Now, I know foxes are not everybody's cup of tea, and they never used to be mine either, but I remember watching a documentary once, and this little town in America somewhere, they were wondering why all the newspapers were going missing daily, and they discovered that the mummy fox was stealing the nice new newspapers to make bedding for the baby foxes. Because the reason a mummy fox looks so scrawny and scraggy is she would rip out her own fur to make comfy beds for the babies. Now that is just adorable, but quite grim as well, but that just speaks to my mummy heart, that she would just do that, sacrifice her own fur to make the baby beds. So there we go, big fox fans now, especially since we had them in the garden. And my next favourite thing, this is my granddaughter Rachel. Now she was only a chubby bubby then, this year she'll be 16. So yeah, I still remember that like it was yesterday. What a character, absolute light of my life. And then last but not least, we're back to Hamish. With his big tongue sticking out, because I think I just fed him. You can buy bags of feed. So anyway, that is the art that I have to hand. I hope you enjoyed that. And please do leave me a comment, use the word art, and I will pick someone to receive a piece of art. And, maybe this one, maybe that one, or maybe not the NHS. I will find one. I don't know which one, but I will send someone a piece of art, and I will make sure I sign it and date it before I send it out. So please leave me a comment, and someone can have one of my pieces of artwork. Right, let's flip back to the face-to-face camera. So I hope you enjoyed that little flick through my gallery of artwork. There was one thing I did forget. This little book. In 2023, I was going through a hard time with my health. It was just an absolute nightmare. I was feeling low, it was awful. It was just an awful time. So I decided to do a doodle a day for a month. I only had, if you see the introduction to the book, 5-minute doodles. No sketches, no plans, absolutely no idea. Some of them were good, some of them not so much. So I'll show you a couple of them. The whole book is just full of random doodles. So the first one, the one that started it all, was this one. This was the day I was rushed to hospital, hence the little Nino with heart problems. I had to have an ECG and all the wires and everything. So this is what spurned it on. Just take 5 minutes out of my day every day to just draw something random. Let's have a flick through, see what else we've got. Oh look, got a little patchwork cat. Now I remember this cat, this style of cat, the way it's drawn. There was a programme here in the UK when I was growing up, and the artist was called Tony Hart, and it's where Little Morph, the little claymation man, started off, and he was just my inspiration. And he drew this. He showed you how to draw it, and it's always the way I've drawn cats from now on. So anyway, that's stuck with me for many years. We have a little tree. I'll not do them all because some of them are really, really naff. Let's see if we can find something. Oh, look, we've got rain and puddles. Just a random little tree. Not sure what that is. I did name and date them all too. Oh, this one. This one has been named wrong page. Can you tell why? Let's have a look. We've got drawing implements. There were some days where I just had no idea what I was going to draw. So I would draw my knitting. What else have we got? There is my son's birthday. He was 21 on that day. Let's have a look. Oh, we've got Christmas baubles on the 15th of July. I was working full time at this time, so I would come home and no matter how tired I was, I would have to draw. And sometimes I couldn't figure out what to draw, so I would just draw me drawing. So yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to go back through and see what I've done here. There are just little dream catchers. Now this one is called Dream. As I said, these are my dreams. They are very, very vivid, very, very busy dreams. No lying on a beach in the Bahamas for me. So anyway, that is my little doodle a day. I'm sure I have another one of these books, so I might try and do that again. And also the pens that I spoke about, the white pens. Now I've checked on Amazon and the link is no longer valid, but these are what they were. So if you can find something like that, it's a highlight pen, a gel pen, and they just work absolutely perfectly. And these ones, like I say, these are 3 years old and they still work just great. So that's that. I shall put the link below for Santangle for her web shop and also her YouTube channel, because she really does just inspire you to pick up the pencil and get drawing again. So, nothing much else to tell you about at the moment. I hope you enjoyed that little doodle bit of Stitchedoodle, and I shall be back at the beginning of August with a new floss tube, showing you all my whips and updates and starts and finishes and all sorts. There seems to have been a lot going on. But anyway, lovely to have spent some time with you today. Remember to leave me a comment and let's see what we can send you. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching and I shall see you soon.